Have you ever sent a message, waited 3 hours, checked her profile 17 times, and somehow transformed a single unanswered text into a full-scale existential crisis? Good people, I am Friedrich Nietzsche, the man who declared, "God is dead." And after observing modern dating, I have begun investigating whether conversation is dead as well. Today, we shall examine the tragic case of David. David sent a message. His crush did not reply. Within 30 minutes, David imagined rejection, heartbreak, betrayal, and several events that have not happened. But before we begin, subscribe to Timeline Tower, because unlike David's messages, our videos actually receive responses. Now let us investigate. Why is his crush not replying? Reason number 1. Bad conversational skills. What if she is not replying because David is unbelievably boring? Observe. David sends, favorite movie, favorite food, favorite color, favorite hobby. My dear viewer, she matched with a man, not a Google form. David believes he is creating chemistry. In reality, he is conducting market research. Naturally, the conversation dies. And once the conversation dies, David acquires something extremely dangerous: free time. Reason number 2, no personal life. Now, what does David do with this free time? Absolutely nothing. He checks WhatsApp, then Instagram, then WhatsApp again, then Instagram to verify the Instagram. The girl has hobbies. The girl has friends. The girl has a life. David has notifications. And when a man has no life of his own, he slowly begins living inside somebody else's, which leads David to his next mistake: thinking. Far too much thinking. Reason number 3, overthinking. So what does David do after spending 6 hours monitoring her online status? He begins thinking, a dangerous hobby. She replies, "Ha ha." David immediately launches an investigation. Was it a happy ha-ha? A romantic ha-ha? A sarcastic ha-ha? A farewell ha-ha? My dear viewer, she typed 4 letters. David is preparing a doctoral thesis. When I wrote that if you stare into the abyss stares back, I was not talking about WhatsApp. Yet somehow, David found a way. And after several hours of overthinking, David reaches a conclusion. Something must be wrong with him. Reason number 4, insecurity. And what happens when David starts believing that? Simple. He stops having conversations and starts requesting validation. Observe. Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Why are you replying slower? Do you still like me? My dear viewer, David is not texting. David is performing emotional quality assurance. Every message secretly asks, "Please tell me I am valuable." Unfortunately, women are not customer support representatives for self-esteem. And the more reassurance David receives, the more reassurance David needs, which is precisely why his next mistake becomes inevitable. Soon, David stops seeing her as a person and starts seeing everything through himself. Reason number 5, self-centeredness. And after all this overthinking, what does David see when he looks at the conversation? Himself, only himself. She says, "I had a terrible day." David replies, "That reminds me of my terrible day." She tells a story. David tells a longer story. She shares a problem. David shares a bigger problem. Remarkable. David has mistaken conversation for autobiography. The girl wanted understanding. David offered a podcast. And thus the final tragedy unfolds. David believes she stopped replying because she changed, when in reality, the conversation stopped being about 2 people a very long time ago. It became about David. So why is she not replying? Perhaps she is busy. Perhaps she is uninterested. Perhaps she simply forgot. But after examining David, I have discovered a far more uncomfortable possibility. The problem was never the message. The problem was the messenger. David wanted attention. David wanted validation. David wanted reassurance. David wanted certainty. What David did not want was self-awareness. For centuries, mankind has searched for the meaning of life. David spent 3 hours searching for the meaning of scene 7:42 p.m. I am Friedrich Nietzsche. Like the video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which version of David are you? Until next time, remember, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Unfortunately, David's why was a text message.